remember these men? Actually criminals. Kingfisher Airlines promoter Vijay Mallya, king of good times. Diamond trader Nirav Modi and arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari. They're India's most wanted fugitives, but enjoying life in the UK. Pardon my language, quite honestly. They've looted tax-paying Indians, defaulted on multi-crores. Just Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi together have defaulted on at least 13,000 crore rupees. That's almost equivalent to the 5-year fund government claims was provided to a flagship central scheme to support Indian artisans and craftspersons. Now, I'm just trying to quantify the massive amount that's involved and to just help us understand the money that has been involved. These are not figures that everybody may be able to put a finger on. In fact, Vijay Mallya has been convicted in India for transferring $40 million to his family members secretively. $40 million, let that sink in. And because he did not deposit that money within 4 weeks, he was convicted by a top court, 4 months in jail and a rupee 2,000 fine. Let that sink in too. Now, a high-level team of CBI, ED, NIA is set to be heading to UK very soon for what government sources have claimed as efforts to expedite the extradition. There's also going to be a high-level team to be able to negotiate this diplomatically, but what really is in store? Let's try and understand where is India's position in this and what is expected to happen in these particular cases. The truth remains, tax-paying Indians have been looted. J.K. Tripathi, former ambassador, joins us on the panel. Along with him, we also have P.K. Jain, former additional DGP Maharashtra, advocate Ashish Chandra Singh, former deputy legal advisor for the Enforcement Directorate, as well as our very own Srinjoy, who's covered much of these cases very closely for the Times Network for a very long time. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, let me just take the first question to advocate Ashish Chandra Singh. What is the special team expected to do there? It's a special team from the probe agencies. What are they expected to do? What are they likely to do there?
Let me tell you. Actually, whether it is extradition request or it is letter of request, in all these cases, what happens that if the letter is sent, the communication is made through letters, through diplomatic bag letters are transmitted from here and there. That consumes a lot of time. If the agency officers personally go there, they are able to expedite the things, number one. Number two, in most of the cases, it has been observed that fugitive goes and approaches the court, that he should not be extradited. In those cases, if the agencies are there, they can apprise the prosecutor who has been doing the job, who wants that he should be extradited. So therefore, it is always good that the agency officers should personally go there and expedite the things. Because every discussion is neither possible through letters, nor it is possible through telecommunication or any other means. So personal request is of great importance. And this decision, if it has been taken, is very good. Yes.
All right. Let me just get in former Ambassador J.K. Tripathi. Mr. Ambassador Tripathi, if I may just ask you this. The orders have been given by the courts in most of these cases for extradition. In fact, there have been even, when it was Nirav Modi's case, the court even told the UK government, you have to honor the treaty. So it's not like courts have not heard these cases. Courts repeatedly have even heard their requests for pardon, for their appeals against the extradition, and have not told those lines. But How do you really look at this diplomatically, considering there's a team now going under the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty to get information? Does this also mean that India is really in the blind about what's happening to them, and that's the step one towards getting to them?
No, as regards the decision by the local courts against these fugitives, I am not sure at what level has it been decided. Earlier heard of was that it had been decided, earlier it was the court of primary jurisdiction, then appellate court, but the top is Privy Council. I don't know whether Privy Council has decided or not. Now that the courts have decided, whatever courts have said that you can do it, there shouldn't be much problem, because you see, extradition treaty.
No, just to tell you, since you're mentioning that in case of Bhandari's case, his petition at the Supreme Court was not allowed. It was said it doesn't stand. So since you're asking that, I'm even taking you to cases where these topmost petitions have not stood the test, even in UK. So I'm just putting that context in place.
Okay, then in that case, I don't think there should be any problem in extradition, because for extradition of any fugitive or any criminal from one country to another country, there are three preconditions to be fulfilled. One, there must be a clear extradition treaty which is here in this case. Second is that the law that the law under which, or the offense which the accused is charged of, must be an offense in both, punishable offense in both countries. That is also there. And thirdly, the act for which the extradition is demanded should not be of political nature. That is one of, I mean, if somebody flees away, claiming that he or she will be persecuted and have the danger of his or her life because of the political convictions, then it cannot be allowed. But in this case, all the three conditions have been met. And therefore, I don't think there should be any problem in extraditing. Because earlier what happened, Vijay Mallya used to claim that no, it is political, and so was this Nirav. But now...
Okay, now let me just get in others for the introductory remarks as well, sir.
All those channels have been exhausted. Yeah.
Okay, Srinjoy, you have been covering this for a very long time.
Yes.
This is not only a case that has seen different diplomatic aspects between two countries, but this has been one of the pressing demands that has even taken political shapes within India. The fact that there's a big election coming in, and the fact that these are rich people possibly chilling their heels or relaxing in the UK, but most wanted in India. These are taxpayers' money that we are talking about. Just what is at stake when we look at this?
First of all, it's also a question of political will. Now, naturally, everyone will say in Britain that it's up to the courts and so on. But there have been, in these last 6 years, Britain has had, 5 prime ministers. And at least one, I'll give you an example which suggests that there is political will involved, is when Theresa May, when she was prime minister, asked Narendra Modi, if we send back Vijay Mallya, what kind of jail will he be in? And Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, well, the same kind of jails you put Gandhi and Nehru in. So there is a sort of reticence on the part, or there was on the British side, at least for a while. It has to be said that for all the problems that Boris Johnson created, for the British government, for the British people, and for himself, the relations between Britain and India started improving when he was prime minister. He had a successful visit to India. Let's not forget that. Of course, Liz Truss had a very, very short term as Prime Minister, and Rishi Sunak has actually improved relations between the two countries. So one hopes that while the political relations between the two countries has improved, in this area too, there is forward movement. Because yes, it's good that people are going, but people
Right.
have gone before. There was a time when people, lots and lots of
Absolutely.
people from India had gone to try and get back Vijay Mallya. It came to naught. But now let's hope that
Absolutely.
before both sides, both countries go to the polls. We in India are going to the polls
Right.
in the next 5 months. So are the British within a year. So let's hope at least before the elections, some forward movement takes place. I don't see any problem with Nirav Modi. He's already in
Right.
jail, and it's almost clear that he is. The courts have clearly stated that yes, he should be sent back. So where is the problem?
All right. Okay, let me also just get in PK Jain at this point. Uh, Mr. PK Jain, a lot has been said about jails in India, but to be fair, a lot is also being spoken about jails in Britain and UK. I mean, you may pick holes here and there, but it's not very different there either in several cases.
Sneha ji, the condition of jails, the jails are certainly overcrowded in India, but the government of India has already informed the government of UK that these fugitives, when they arrive in India, will be taken care of. They have sent photographs, they have given them evidence of the kind of conditions they will be facing. And incidentally, if an Indian citizen who is incarcerated in a jail can stay there, why not these criminals? I mean, they cannot demand a special status just because they are moneyed and they are influential and powerful and they found a safe haven in UK. Now, they will meet the same treatment as any other Indian does. So the jails are the same for everybody. Yet the government of India has gone an extra mile in assuring the government of UK that they will be taken care of. So in terms of medical facilities, in terms of their stay, etc., everything has been already informed to the government of UK and even the courts. Because this plea has been taken by these fugitives even in the court, that they will be ill-treated, the jails are not good. So if all the ministers, Jet Airways director is now, the CMD of Jet Airways is now in jail, and number of politicians, when they are in jail, they are also kept there only. So why should there be a special treatment meted out to these criminals? I mean, I don't understand. That is one. Secondly, as my predecessor on your show just now said, it is a question of political will. I mean, in the years since 1992, when there was an extradition treaty has been signed between the two countries, only 2 persons have been extradited. I mean, when
Exactly.
a whole lot of people, UK has become a safe haven
That's
for
right.
these criminals. So is Canada. I mean, we have already had this. UK is a safe haven for these criminals. They keep fighting in the courts. They keep fighting they keep currying favors with the government. Now, when they have exhausted their legal avenues, now they are falling on the government of UK. So I'm sure that this visit, when the senior officials of all these 3 agencies, led by a spokesperson of the External Affairs Ministry, goes there, I'm sure it is going to cut some ice with the government of UK. Sneha ji.
Let me just get in the former ambassador again at this point, J.K. Tripathi. Sir, and a very important point being raised about the extradition treaty between India and UK. In place since 1992, only 2 fugitives. India has managed to get back only two fugitives since 1992. But let's contrast this between the US and UK. US has managed to extradite, to bring back around 120 fugitives in comparison to 130 petitions that they filed before the US. So isn't this a huge diplomatic imbalance as well?
Well, I won't say this is diplomatic imbalance, because courts try the accused of extradition, or the person whose extradition is demanded. Courts try on the basis of their own laws and legal procedures. Unfortunately, the legal procedure in Britain and Canada is very lax, very lenient. and as everybody knows, it is rule of law instead of rule established by law. So that is why in Canada and in UK, most of the fugitives go scot free, or they stretch the legal system to its limit, so that they can avoid being extradited as long as possible. In USA, it is not possible. So in USA, things move faster than in UK. So that
No,
is
no, no.
why
This is
Sneha,
US.
in
When you
Britain,
compare it to US, what I'm saying, I'm not talking about India getting back from US. I'm saying US has been able to extradite 120 from UK to US out of the 130 petitions that they've been able to file. Whereas India, since 1992, has been able to extradite only 2 from
Well,
UK. Both the source of origin is UK.
well, in that case, I will say that it has been our diplomatic failure. We could not persuade the local government, the British government, for our cases. We could not persuade them for our cases to extradite these fugitives. But one more thing has to
All
be
right.
seen. What are the cases? What were the most cases where US, which crimes were there discussed where US were able to extradite its own personnel to UK,
Okay.
from UK, because that also depends
Okay.
on nature of crime.
Okay.
Maybe what is crime in India may not be in UK. Yes, Neha.
No, I mean, an
Hello.
extradition really comes in once
Hello.
the courts have gone ahead and given an order for extradition. Yes, if I can just move over to Advocate Ashish Chandra Singh at this point, you have fought a lot of cases for the Enforcement Directorate. Legally speaking, what are the chances that one stands in a foreign land, one, to access information despite a treaty that's existing, and two, to be able to extradite most wanted fugitives that have completely failed a extradition treaty since, if I may say, almost a century?
Yeah, madam, I would like to point out that so far as NIA, CBI are concerned, they have investigated the case under the provisions of Indian Penal Code 1860, whereas ED has investigated the case
Absolutely.
under Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. If you go, yeah, if
Fair
you
enough, because
go
the jurisdictions are different.
on the historical background, you will find that no, madam, I tell you, yeah, that's what I just wanted to tell you. Under PMLA, Chapter 9 is there, that is because PMLA happens to be a self-contained court. Chapter 9 begins with Section 55 to Section 60. Under Section 56 of the Act, there is a provision that India should make agreements with various countries. And under Section 59 of this Act, it has been clearly stated that there shall be provision of transfer of fugitive. That means fugitive from one country can be transferred to another country. Because this PMLA has been enacted with a view to create, with a view to fulfill all the requirements of UN Charter. So therefore, all the member countries, there are about 185 member countries of this who are governed by this FATF. And FATF clearly stipulates, Financial Action Task Force, that two conditions are required: that there should be extraditable crime and that person should be extraditable
Okay.
fugitive. That means he should be an offender.
These are
And one
technicalities,
thing
but we're
more,
talking about,
in
right?
both, so
Yeah,
far,
please.
yeah, but so far I am not able to reconcile as to why Section 59 of PMLA has not yet been invoked. Because there is a clear provision that if the Indian
All right.
court issued warrant, non-bailable warrant against any fugitive, that other country will obey it and obey the directions of of Indian
All right.
court.
Okay.
But nevertheless, because everything
Okay,
is
I
being
get your
governed by
point, sir.
Extradition
I
Act.
get your point.
Whereas,
There
according
are
to
so
me,
many
this
questions. If I have to
PMLA
ask, there are so many questions. But
prevail upon
let me just get in
extradition.
Srinjoy, please, at this point. Srinjoy, would you say that this is possibly becoming a huge embarrassment for India, a huge international embarrassment for India? But there are chances
Of
that
course it
India may
is.
just about be able to turn this around.
Of course it is. Here are people who've been staying in Britain. It's just not Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya. Lalit Modi is wanted here at a different level. And it's not just these 3, 4 big names. There are many others. There must be a list of about 30 people who are still in Britain, who India has asked for extradition. And these are not for cases of theft of huge thousands and thousands of crores. Some of them are smaller cases. Some for other things, whether it may be murder or this or that, a variety of things. And yet they are there. They are there in Britain. So hopefully this group of officials who have gone will be able to make a difference. Now that ties between Britain and India have improved dramatically in these last 2, 3 years, there is a hope, at least, that this will also reflect in this way of ensuring that people wanted by India and in Britain can be brought back. It's particularly important that India does it, and particularly important that this happens before the elections.
Right.
But we will have to see how it goes, because they are there. This group will be there, and they have to impress on the British government and the British authorities that yes, we want these people and we want them back very soon.
Right. There's no mincing words there, Srinjoy. Thank you for that. But just one last question to PK Jain. It's just so baffling that taxpayers' money is up for squandering just so easily. And an ordinary person with just few lakhs, I mean, loot is loot, a scandal is a scandal, a scam is scam. Then, despite the money involved, no one can be justified. But here are tycoons who have taken crores from Indians, hardworking Indians, and still are no way in sight to return to India, sir. As a former top cop, how do you look at this?
See, the people with money and influence have always been able to get away from the dragnet of law. This is nothing new. Before this, there are n number of industrialists and people in India who have taken away thousands of crores and lakhs of crores of Indian people's money, and yet nothing has happened to them within this country. It is fortunate for this country that we have a government which is going doggedly after these people, and I'm sure that the results will come. The UK has been looking down with contempt on the Indian demands till now, not so probably anymore. So you see the attempt of attack on the Indian mission in UK. Despite the request of the government of India, nothing much has happened. Now the government of India has compiled a list of people who attacked, and they are going doggedly after them. So I'm sure that the results will now start coming out because the government is now diligently, scrupulously following these issues with the government of UK. So I'm sure that something is going to come out. I'm very hopeful of that. Sneha.
Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. There's one thing for sure, there's lots at stake for India internationally as well within the home, even as the team goes